我哋其實今日咧都歡迎大家收睇我哋呢一個嘅線上講座啦。咁其實我哋咧啱啱我哋星期四咧就講完馬來西亞，咁啊其實我哋咧話轉接咧，我哋就帶到我哋嚟澳洲啦。係啊，咁其實大家都我相信大家都好熟悉我哋即係 GY.com 啦、GY.Asia 啦。咁其實我都再介紹多少少啦。咁啊其實我哋居外網咧，其實就係一個嘅海外房產線上平台啦。咁其實我哋唔單止係一個平台，咁其實我哋都搞好多活動。咁我哋嘅活動咧，其實就係一啲即係希望可以帶多啲唔同嘅資訊俾大家啦。其實即係有時大家去即係做買樓啊，其實都唔單止係去買樓咁簡單，其實都希望可以知道多啲當地嘅情況咯。係啊，咁所以其實我哋都希望可以藉住咧呢個我哋嘅直播節目，希望可以即係令到大家可以，就算我哋而家足不出戶都可以係啦，
可以睇下唔同地方國家嘅樓房產啊、項目啊等等啦。
係啊，咁同大家都可以講翻聲先啦。其實我哋呢一個嘅即係直播節目咧，其實我哋邀請嘉賓上嚟啦。咁其實大家嘅意見咧都係俾大家做個參考。咁其實如果即係講大家每個人需求都唔同啦。咁如果之後大家如果真係即係有特別嘅需求，都歡迎可以即係私信我哋啦 ，comment 喺個 comment box 留言。咁或者可能亦都可以即係尋求其他專業人士嘅意見咯。係啊。
係喎，咁今日我哋咧就嚟到澳洲啦。咁其實澳洲一路都係一個好熱門，大家即係熱衷，無論係移居啦、移民啦、旅行啦、讀書啊，都係一個好 top 嘅國家啦。咁今日我哋就講到悉尼喎，同埋其實Evan 你都係嗰邊有讀過書啊？
係啊，咁其實咧本身我都係澳洲籍嘅，咁其實我就即係喺嗰度即係讀書啦，咁之後做嘢啦，咁啊即係其實我都係回流翻嚟香港。咁當然啦，你話換翻過去，咁我而家就暫時我都話我都會嘅。係啦，咁其實講開悉尼啦，咁其實我哋之前我哋嘅直播咧亦都有講開悉尼，咁其實有好多即係好多講下唔同嘅地區啊。咁其實悉尼咁大啦，咁其實每一個區咧都有好多人住。咁我相信可能大家好多人都會即係都比較熟悉就係 Epping 啊、Chatswood 啊、Sydney CBD 啊，或者其他唔同嘅區份比較多華人去聚集咯。咁其實我哋都希望即係除咗呢啲嘅地區，我哋都希望可以咧喺唔同嘅地區都介紹多啲。咁其實我哋今日亦都即係好特別啦。其實我哋都即係介紹一個好優質嘅項目俾大家啦。咁其實講開又講，其實點解我哋講咁多次澳洲？其實因為我希望即係大家都知道，其實而家澳洲即係最近最熱嘅話題咧，其實就係
公佈咗延長香港人嗰個簽證啦。咁所以今日我哋都好開心咧，除咗有即係開發商之外咧，佢哋都邀請咗一個即係註冊嘅移民 agents 同大家分享即係一啲最新嘅安排啦。
係啊，
香港人點樣即係可以把握呢個機會去成為即係入籍等。
因為其實咧即係講真，我哋睇到新聞都知道佢放寬咗政策。咁其實究竟即係真正嗰個程序或者真正嗰個內容咧，其實當然我哋其實都係大家網上可能 search 下睇下新聞，但係其實點唔夠，點都係唔夠我哋即係當地人一個仲係一個係註冊咗嘅即係移民顧問啦。咁所以其實我哋今日都邀請咗Fenton Legal 嘅代表上嚟同我哋去即係講下其實而家真正嗰個延長嘅政策係咩啊？最優惠係俾邊類嘅香港人啊，同埋其實佢哋究竟有啲即係如果申請嘅話係有啲咩步驟可以做啦？咁同埋其實究竟移民顧問代表其實有啲乜嘢可以推介俾大家？咁其實講真啦，移民其實即係大家都知道啦。嗱，我移居過去我都要住㗎。咁其實即係當然啦，而家可能未必飛到住啦。咁但係其實而家我相信大家都會有諗法，就係我要去即係準備下或者可能要計劃下啦，
點樣去投資啊、移民啊等等安排。
係啊。
咁所以今日我哋都好開心，就邀請到 Platinum 嘅Property Group 啦上嚟同我哋分享一啲即係優質項目啦。咁佢哋公司其實咧涉獵好多範疇咧，除咗房產之外啦，咁佢哋仲有酒店啊、飲食等等咧，即係包含喺澳洲裏邊咧做好多唔同嘅業務嘅。
係啊，咁同埋都希望可以即係介紹啲唔同款類嘅項目俾大家啦。即係可能即係我有即係 unit 啊、apartment 啊、house 啊嗰啲。咁其實啱啱呢個項目其實就都係一個好適合香港人嘅，即係香港人可以考慮咯。因為有可能大家即係可能未住過 house 啦，咁亦可能就住過 apartment 多。咁但係亦都覺得其實究竟如果喺兩者中間，其實一個拿捏位係點咧？咁所以大家就唔好錯過我哋今日嗰個直播究竟係點啦。
另外就係通常因為香港人又地少啦，咁人又好多，咁所以咧 呢一個項目咧就比較特別，因為佢係一個好即係低密度嘅地方啦，咁就係相比起香港就更加舒服。
係啊，咁呢個地點又唔會話好遠嘅，即係佢唔係話即係唔係話山卡拉嗰啲嘅，咁所以其實即係講又就近得市區嚟都方便得嚟又低密度，低密度得嚟，但係亦都可以享受一個寧靜嘅社區生活咯。係啦，我事不宜遲，我哋邀請我哋嘉賓上嚟啦。好，係 ，hello，
你好。
係，
咁我哋都同大家介紹一下先。咁我哋由鏡頭女士開始啦，咁佢就係啦 ，Lady First。咁佢就係今日會同我哋介紹即係移民啊嘅一啲政策嘅 Susan。Hello Susan， 你好。
你好。係，之後 Kevin 咧。
Hello. I'm a registered migrant student. Nice to meet you guys tonight.
係，之後 Kelvin 咧，其實咧就係都係我哋今日嘅其中一個嘉賓主持啦。其實佢都會幫我同我哋介紹下其實而家即係澳洲呢個政策同埋項目嘅嘢。咁另外咧，其實咧另外嗰兩邊嘉賓咧，其實就係 Platinum Group 嘅代表高層人士啦。咁其實 Gary 啦 ，Gary is the director of Platinum Group and would like to introduce the company,
projects.
and the prime projects to our Hong Kong audience. And Gary is and other representative for Platinum Group, and William, and hi, hello William, 所以其實咧，即係我哋一陣間咧稍後時間咧，其實我哋每一位嘅嘉賓嘅都會同我哋去即係講下啦，分享下咯，係啊。咁我哋其實而家事不宜遲，咁我哋其實而家就可以即係將我哋講下交俾 Susan， 咁同我哋講下而家啱啱頭先提到嗰個即係放寬政策嗰個問題咯，係啊。OK， Susan。
Eva。
係。有。
So we're gonna start our topic today.
Yep. 所以你可以先開始啦，對。
Put down my PowerPoint. Oh, is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
可唔可以同我哋講下其實而家呢個嘅即係移民嗰個情況咯？係啊，係交俾你 ，Susan 係。
Okay, thank you, Eva Vanessa. Okay, today we're gonna talk about the special regulations, special visa advantages for Hong Kong residents, just pronounced last month in July 2020. So generally, I'm going to starting from the Australian migration pathway. So there are 4 migration pathways from the skilled, investment, family, and refugee. So we're going to focus on investment today and the skill as the family and refugee. I believe everyone knows that. So we're gonna move to the next part. It's starting from the new visa opportunity for Hong Kong residents. So everyone knows last month in July 2020, Australian government just announced a new visa for Hong Kong residents only. What is that? This is giving all the Hong Kong current or future students come to Australia. They will have up to 5 years temporary visa instead of 2 years for all other countries. So that is very special for Hong Kong residents. They give them 3 years extension. So what does the 3 years mean? You can do a lot of preparation and you can extend the living, working, study, or even holidays in Australia for another 3 years. So after 3 years or after the entire 5 years time, you will definitely have a pathway to migrate to settle in Australia as a permanent resident.
係啱啱，其實 Susan 都啱啱好詳細咁解釋咗咧。其實嗰個即係政策放寬嗰個，其實就係即係延長咗5年。咁其實係有兩類嘅朋友係可以即係申請啦。其實就係首先就係學生個簽證，同埋其實就係當地嘅 working visa。咁其實當佢哋其實係佢哋嗰個 let's say 啦，佢哋嗰個 student visa 咧，其實佢哋之後去到valid 嗰陣時，其實佢可以延長咗5年。係啦，咁延長5年之後，其實即係代表啲乜嘢咧？其實就係代表佢哋其實係可以多啲時間俾佢哋去揾工啦，去準備啦，去究竟係點去 settle 喺個澳洲度。咁當喺5年時間佢哋去揾工啦，佢哋揾到個僱主其實同佢可能 guarantee 到佢。咁其實5年呢個 extension 之後咧，其實佢哋亦都可以都有個比較 容易啲嘅 pathway 咧，咁其實就去申請入籍係啦，申請PR 啊，permanent residence 啊，咁其實即係如此類推咧，咁就入籍澳洲咯。咁其實呢一個咧，其實就係即係相對嚟講，係就比較後即係容易啲咯，因為其實有陣時知道啦，其實你要一個攞個居留權，其實真係唔容易，係啊，好長嘅時間申請咯，係啊，係 ，thank you，thank you，Susan， yep。
Over to you.
That's right. For 3 years, so extend to up to 5 years, you can do a lot of things. Doesn't matter you want to settle, you want to migrate to Australia, or you want to earn some working experience in Australia. You will have 3 extra years to stay in Australia and more opportunities. So that is really special for Hong Kong residents from this year. So hopefully all of you guys interested about these advantages of the just new fresh visa. So there's 2 types of graduate visa currently for all the overseas students of Australia. Used to be up to 2 years visa. Now the government since the 9th of July last month, they extended to 5 years. So as what we said just now, you can have more time to prepare your settlement, more time to prepare your investment or your skills or work experience. Maybe you're just traveling in Australia and traveling around. You will have more life experience in Australia. To give you more time, you don't need to renew any new visa. So you're going to stay in Australia much more entry for another 3 more years. That is the biggest advantage. Think about every tourist visa. How much does that cost if you want to apply to Australia for just traveling? And the tourist visa doesn't give you any work permits. But this one gives you 3 more years extra working permit permission. So that is the main point of the new advantages of Hong Kong residents. And I believe in the following months, the Australian government, gonna announce more and more new visa conditions for Hong Kong residents. They're preparing. We know some proposal, but we're not going to talk about today because it's not published yet. But we know that for the skilled worker, investors, the Australian government has more and more new special conditions for Hong Kong residents to encourage Hong Kong residents move to Australia in the following years.
係啱啱，其實 Susan 都有再講，即係都有重申一次咧，就係而家呢一個嘅即係放寬政策咧，其實都係即係俾多啲時間嘅準備啦，同埋一個都相對嚟講咧，係比其他嘅海外人士咧，香港人其實係多啲優勢，係可以入籍到澳洲。咁而 Susan 亦都頭先都有講過啦，其實即係相信喺未來嘅日子咧，澳洲政府咧亦都會再增加多一啲嘅即係再更新一啲移民政策。咁相信咧，其實亦都係會進一步去幫助香港人可以即係容易啲去移民啦，或者係容易啲去入籍澳洲。咁其實因為多啲時間啦，咁其實你都可以即係相對嚟講，其實你會考慮好多嘢。其實咧可能澳洲好大啦，其實唔同嘅地方。咁首先你可以考慮自己其實係中意邊一個省、邊一個城市、邊一個地區。咁之後其實就可能話其實我究竟我係即係想即係自己嚟做嘢先啦，或者可能係直情根本係有計劃係即係全家移民咯。
或者每一個人移民到去澳洲嘅目的都唔同啦，有啲可能想退休，咁可能中意休閒啲嘅生活，或者仲係年輕家庭嘅，咁可能就希望繼續一路打工啊。或者小朋友又讀書啊，咁可能就即係城市嗰啲。係啊，咁啊成個嘅移民規劃其實就相對嚟講會比較即係時間寬鬆啲啦。咁同埋其實亦都可以，所以而家喺呢個咁 moment 你諗下其實我哋即係嗰個投資計劃，因為其實如果有時即係你申請咗移民，就可能係即係中間即係雖則申請過程好長，但係可能決定要好快。咁但係而家相反嚟講就反而更加周長，就係諗下如果我移民之前其實我需唔需要可能我嚟過咗嚟睇下先，或者可能會唔會即係有一個投資計劃。咁因為其實講真啦，而家你即係嗰個即係環球市場啦。如果你講開投資咧，其實你可能即係股票又唔係話咁穩陣啦。咁其實到最後咧，即係 cash 上貶值啦，係啦，都係買個 property investment， 其實係會比較通常即係會考慮好多咯。咁又講真啦，因為你就算你唔係即係你自己住啦，咁你租出去亦都可以。咁而家因為香港嘅樓價其實亦都大家都知道都
都係好高啦。咁其實好多人都會考慮就係、如果我投資即係移民得嚟有投資嘅話，可能就係、我香港嗰個我分分鐘可以即係買兩個，即係喺外國買兩個單位，一個租一個住。咁其實咧，即係長遠一個 long-term investment plan 嚟講咧，就可能係一個我有個 recurrent income 啊。咁其實咧，大家即係都會有諗呢條路咯。其實係啊，我哋交翻時間俾Susan 先，係 Susan。
It's all right. So let's talk a little bit about the current figures of Hong Kong residents post Australia visa. So we can tell now, currently there are more than 8,000 Hong Kong students in Australia. They're still onshore, and another 2,300 they might back to Hong Kong for holidays. So still, the student visa holder in Australia, still the majority group of Hong Kong residents who live in Australia. So for all those around 10,000 people in Australia, they definitely benefit from the new policy from last month. So I don't know whether any of you guys have this visa or any of your family members having the visa now currently in Australia. And you will benefit from that new policy. So you will have another extra 3 years extension straight away, since 9th of July. So your visa comes from 2 years, becomes a 5 year valid time now. So this is the figure. So we have Australian government, they engage more Hong Kong students to come to Australia because Australia is always a migration country. And Hong Kong and Australia, Hong Kong and Canada, I believe Canada and Australia is always the top two countries, or top two options of the Hong Kong residents. So as you said, in the following months or years, Australia is going to think about more options for Hong Kong students to come over, increase that figure.
係啱啱其實 Susan 咧，佢就即係啱啱我哋而家 show 咗，即係佢做一個調查啦。咁其實而家喺即係澳洲咧，其實香港學生喺嗰邊咧，其實都唔係一個少嘅數目啦。咁其實而家呢個放寬政策咧，喺某程度上咧，即係就第一批最大嘅得益者咧，即係最大嘅得益其實就係當地嘅學生，因為其實當地學生已經本身係持有student visa， 咁或者係當地嘅 working visa 嘅人士咧，咁其實佢就可以透過呢個新嘅政策咧，其實就首先就延長咗嗰5年先啦。咁其實之後咧，亦都可以之後慢慢再繼續停留多段時間，之後就可以慢慢申請呢個嘅呢個申請嗰個 PR 咯。係啊。
Yeah. So if anyone of you currently in Australia or any family members of you currently have those visas, want to stay in Australia for the future or to settle down, they'll come to us. We're gonna work out for you because you guys all have the 5 years visa. We're gonna work out the pathway to migrate in Australia. Okay? So if anyone of you holding the visas, let's look at the pathways of the migration. As we said, skilled pathway, which is for the skilled worker. I believe all of you guys know that the employer sponsorship. It's for company sponsorship. So any company or any employer sponsor you to migrate to Australia as long as you can qualify for the skills in a specific industry or with the qualifications. So the basic requirement of that is age up to 45 years. You're holding qualified Australian company for sponsoring you, and you have diploma or higher qualification, and you've already got 3 years full-time related work experience around the world. Doesn't matter in Hong Kong or anywhere else, as long as you have a work experience. And for English, I believe English for Hong Kong residents is not a problem. So English, IELTS, speech band for 6. This is the pathway for the skilled worker. If you're working in Hong Kong as an office job or any, I know in Hong Kong popular is IT engineering or financial background or banking, hospitality and banking background. So lots of skilled workers, they can choose this pathway. Think about the migration options to Australia.
係啱啱其實 Susan 咧就講，其實我啱啱我哋講咗啦，其實當地嘅學生同埋當地做緊嘢咧，其實都有受惠。咁其實咁換另一方面就係，咁如果香港人 本身係香港人咁啊點咧？咁其實咧亦都有另外一個 pathway 啦，就係 Susan 啱啱提到就係咁點可以透過另一啲途徑可以嚟到即係申請呢個嘅技術移民啦，係啦。咁其實就有一個 employment sponsorship scheme 啊。咁其實當然啦，其實澳洲大家都知道地大人少，其實佢需要嗰個人才咧係非常之渴求嘅。咁當然啦，其實都某幾個行業其實比較渴市啦。其實啱啱 Susan 都有提到，即係例如可能 IT 啊，咁你嗰個 finance 啊 ，hospitality 啊，係啦，呢幾個行業咧，其實相對嚟講，澳洲咧都係比較渴市嘅。咁所以其實如果大家其實而家見到呢個即係畫面啦，其實如果其實大家喺呢幾個行業啦，亦都喺佢嗰個範圍裏邊，咁其實亦都真係有機會可以申請到。咁當然啦，如果大家亦都即係想知道再多少少，亦都可以去即係詢問阿 Susan 啦，係啦。咁其實咧，
同時我哋都想分享翻啦。咁因為咧，我哋喺 Facebook 上面咧嘅 comment box 啦，都有留低咁多位即係嘉賓嘅聯絡資料嘅。咁如果大家有任何問題咧，都可以隨時喺 comment box 嗰度揾翻佢哋嘅 contact。
係啊，咁如果大家想再即係想亦都可以再私信我哋啦。咁我哋亦都會咧將即係咁多位嘉賓嘅資料，亦都即係聯絡資料可以俾翻大家。咁大家亦都可以即係做進一步嘅諮詢咯。咁其實啱啱我哋講翻呢一個 scheme 啦。咁其實咧佢嗰個要求其實唔係話特別高嘅。咁其實基本上你又喺嗰個行啦，咁你有相關嘅經驗啦，咁同埋其實當然啦吸人才，咁所以其實你喺個即係45歲樓下，其實你即係過到英文試，其實基本上都已經係有資格成為咯，係啊，咁其實亦都唔係一個難嘅，係。Okay, over to you, Susan.
Okay, so another skill in migrant skill, which is independent skill migrant. This is more likely for the students. So if you have current students, or if you are a current student, or if you have any family members, or you have kids you want to send to studying, I suggest you can think about the independent skill migrant pathway, because this one, as long as you study the migration occupation in Australia, like IT, education, medical, engineering, accounting, technician, or science. So any of those subjects, and then you have points, 65 points after you graduate. The points come from your age, come from your education, and from your English, and from your previous working experience. So I believe most of the fresh graduates, they will have roughly about 60 to 65 points. As long as you have 1 more year, 2 more years working experience in Australia, you definitely will be qualified for the 65 points. So that's why Australian government give you 3 years extension. This is a very good chance for you to gain more points from your experience. So
神都有講啦，其實就係即係有另外一個就係適合當地或者其實其他香港嘅即係嘅人士啦，因為其實大家都可能有親戚喺澳洲嘅，咁其實咧呢個亦都係一個幫助到。咁點解咧？其實因為澳洲移民咧，其實佢係計分政策嚟嘅，即係計分呢個系統啦。咁其實咧你越符合得多佢嘅相關條件咧，其實你嘅分數就會越高。即係例如話你有親戚啦，你有相關嘅你係啱啱嗰個年齡啦，你有嗰個行業嗰個經驗啦，咁同埋其實如果你揾到當地嘅僱主去即係聘請你啦，咁其實亦都有個個擔保啦，同埋有個計分。咁其實即係當你好多唔同嘅項目其實計埋一齊咧，其實當你夠個分數咧，其實你就可以有資格咯。係啊，係。Okay, over to you, Susan.
Okay, we move to the next one, which is the GTI. The GTI is a fresh new idea from the This is for, you can see that I use the Cantonese, the Chinese typing here, for you guys for more understanding of the GTI. What is the GTI? GTI is for the top talents of the world. The government gives you special visa, which can be approved within 3 months, and you can get your permanent residence within 3 months.
Wow.
But you must be in those 7 industry, which is agriculture technician, or ICT, or financial technology, or IT security, medical technician, or maybe mining industry, something like that.
Renewable energies.
Yeah, they encourage all those top talents all around the world. I believe in Hong Kong, there's a lot of highly income top talents in Hong Kong. They have financial background, their IT background, and their IT security background. So those people, the best option is, as long as they can find any employer or the government sponsoring them for the salary more than 153,600. As long as they qualify for this condition, they will be eligible to get a permanent residence straight away within 3 months. This is a fresh new visa come from last month because it's good for Hong Kong. Because of Hong Kong people, lots of the Hong Kong they have a very advanced and developed finance, medical, in mining or maybe IT security. Yeah, I believe there are lots of talents and outstanding skilled workers in Hong Kong, so they can think about this pathway. This is fresh new ideas I mentioned here today.
咁呢個其實啱啱咧有另外一個途徑啦。咁啱啱 Susan 就講到呢個啱啱係新嘅，咁啊叫做 GTI 啦。咁啊其實呢個 GTI 其實係咩咧？其實頭先都有講到，其實澳洲地少即係地大人少啦，係啦，地大人少。咁其實佢需要好渴求人才。咁其實咧另一款咧就係如果香港人如果我好想即刻即係以最快嘅方法啦去移民去入籍澳洲嘅話咧，其實有咩方法？呢個就可能就啱你啦。咁其實咧，如果你喺佢呢個嘅嗰個計劃裏邊，符合佢嘅條件啦。首先可能你個職業可能係要係符合到佢哋即係好渴求嗰個行業啦，即係例如話可能航天啊、製造業啊、金融啊、
網絡安全啊、
醫療啊呢啲，其實呢幾樣嘢，如果你嗰個人工其實可以，即係其實當你去當地有僱主聘請到你，而你嗰個人工可以達到去某一個嘅水平，即係某一個水平嘅話咧，其實你可以已經即刻係有嗰個即係叫快速通道啦。咁快速通道其實咧就可以即係攞到嗰個即係居留嗰個 visa 咯。咁其實呢一個我相信其實香港好多即係好多人才其實都即係頭先Susan都有提到啦。其實基本上其實可能大家不知不覺就已經喺呢個嘅範圍裏邊啦。咁其實大家亦都可以諗下，係啊，即係其實就啱啱Susan同我哋講咗都即係好多唔同嘅pathway 啦，即係如何可以去申請到一個澳洲嘅 visa 咯，係啦。
Okay, come to our most interesting part, investment visa. I believe most of the Hong Kong residents, they prefer investment with the spare money, especially the properties, real estate. This is what we're targeting. Even they live in Hong Kong, and I know that Hong Kong the property the price of the real estate is very high compared to Hong Kong. I believe Australia is more valuable and more pricable.
Affordable.
Yeah, affordable.
Compatible.
Compared to Hong Kong. Think about if you want to invest in a property or a small business, which is worth only 800,000 Australian dollar. How much is that Hong Kong dollar? 5 million, 4 million, right? Even 800,000.
差唔多，
係啊，80萬都係啦so 800K, yeah, around 4 million Hong Kong, yeah.
4 million Hong Kong, and you can have your investment property, or you can have your own business running for 2 years. After that, you will be eligible for investment visa.
Yeah.
And your property or your assets increase, the values increase, and you earn money from your business or you earn money from your investments. And by the way, you get your permanent resident. You don't need to do anything else. You just let business keep running, and you just hold the properties, and you have the net assets, and you have the business bonus and all the outcomes from the business. Yeah. And after 2 years, you got your permanent residence granted. And this is the most popular pathway in Australia. Common sense. Governments like investors invest money from overseas to Australia. So this is the highest approval visa in Australia. The success rate is always more than 90%. It's roughly around 95% success rate of the investment visa. So as a 10 years registered manager of Australia, for me, I prefer the investment visa the most because it's the easiest one. It's the most welcome and most popular one in Australia. I mean, refer to the government
Advice and government strategy.
Government strategy. So we for us, for my suggestion, The business is like a small size restaurants, holiday resorts, or some tourism. That would be the easy management business of Australia for investment for starter. If you don't have any related background, but restaurants and coffee shops and holiday resorts and travel and tourism travel industry, they are the most easiest part to enter the market. And you don't need to spend all of the money to invest. Only thing you need to do is create a new business or you join the existing business with minimum investment amount, 4 million Hong Kong. So you can start in your business or you just join the current existing business with at least a 30% share. You don't really need to manage the business. Only need to join the business for 30% share, and you earn your share bonus every year annually. And after 2 years, you get your investment visa granted.
係咁啱啱其實 Susan 你都講咗另外一個即係比較
第四個嘅投資方式，
你都比較即係熱門啲啦。咁其實係咩咧？咁之前頭先嗰3個咧都係講到技術移民。咁其實即係可能你嘅親戚喺嗰度啊，計分啊，或者係技術啦，你自己關於自己嘅工作。咁但係如果你話我喺澳洲，我喺澳洲冇親戚，咁可能我又未必喺呢個幾個嘅一個行業裏邊啦。咁點算咧？都唔緊要。咁其實呢一個啱啱介紹咧就係一個嘅投資，即係投資移民計劃啦。咁其實呢一個咧就係即係暫時嚟講喺阿 Susan 覺得咧就係比較即係最火熱嘅，即係最火熱嘅 options。咁其實咧火熱得嚟，其實因為其實你基本上你有一嚿嘅投資基金，你投資嘅金額喺度啦。咁其實你投資喺當地嘅生意啦。咁你
自己創業都可以。
係啦。咁其實佢最低嗰個咧，其實就啱啱頭先講咗個匯價嗰啲啦。其實就80萬澳紙，相當於大概香港400萬。咁其實可能其實喺我哋香港其實就即係不大，即係不多不少嘅數目啦。咁其實當然啦，其實亦都即係我相信大家無論可能即係唔同嘅人都會諗下，除咗生意之外，咁如果我又唔想創業啦，我又唔想我又唔知無啦啦揾一個嘅 business partner 入去，咁點咧？咁亦都冇問題。咁其實基本上你可以去投資一個房地產一個房產嘅項目啦。咁有房產項目亦都差唔多咁嘅價錢。其實你諗下，我哋其實喺香港，我哋用400萬，其實去買一個房，即係買一個嘅樓，其實都唔知買到。講真，而家即係買到嘅，
不過應該都係啲蚊型嘅。
係啦。咁其實之前我哋可能之前幾個直播都有講過，其實即係香港嘅樓價咧，如果你平均啦，其實已經差唔多要去到1000萬港紙。咁其實如果我哋而家400萬，其實做一個投資，除咗我可以有個房產，當然啦，400萬其實喺澳洲嚟講應該買到個大地㗎啦，都應該係啦。咁啊，究竟大地係我哋真可以留翻俾 Gary 同阿 William 同我哋去介紹下個項目啦。咁至於其實講翻嚟啦，咁其實嗰個即係400萬，咁其實我嚟到，首先我攞到頭先有個項目，其實我又可以有資格申請到去移民。咁其實呢個都係一個都幾唔錯嘅選擇咯。咁其實講真，尤其是而家即係呢一排，即係首先就澳洲放寬政策啦，同埋大家即係近排大家都喺網上都喺度移民啊，或者究竟係點？即係我相信大家都可以即係從呢個方向可以去考慮咯。
因為 Susan 都有提過幾個唔同嘅行業俾大家即係選擇，可能係即係餐飲業啊，即係開餐廳啊、cafe 啊，或者酒店度假村啊等等。
係啊，咁係可以話其實究竟我應該點？如果真係我又樣樣都想去了解下究竟點咧，其實我覺得即係所以點解今日我哋請到即係 Susan 啊同埋阿 Gary 佢哋上嚟，其實就係因為 Platinum Group 咧，其實佢係一個好大嘅集團啦。咁其實佢哋其實即係涉足咧，其實除咗房地產之外咧，亦都有其他唔同嘅行業。咁我相信其實如果大家可能喺呢個上喺無論喺投資啊或者其他，即係究竟我個何去何從咧，或者可能其實我今日我就想去澳洲啦。咁啊，但係其實究竟我邊一款即係邊一個方案會好啲？即係根據我嘅即係可能即係本身嘅條件或者本身嘅資產啦。咁我相信其實 Susan 亦都可以俾到個即係相關嘅意見俾大家咯。係啊，究竟我係需要究竟我而家有啲乜嘢？究竟我去符合到邊一個 pathway 咧？咁因為其實我哋其實講咗好多 pathway 啦，其實大家即係不知不覺，其實原來自己本身有嘅嘢已經可以係去
可能 fulfill 到某一個pathway 嘅資格。
係啦。咁所以我哋繼續。OK。
If anyone have a plenty of cash or savings, you can think about the SIV. This is everyone knows 5 million investment visa. For that one, you have a stable income. And Gary later on, he will let you know about the projects or any potential
projects. So you guys from Hong Kong could invest through this particular service. We can introduce you more about compatible products from partner groups.
Here I'm just giving you some ideas about Australia. Best weather, positive investment environment, leading medical treatment, and education and living experience. This is what we know. I believe definitely is top or second options always in Hong Kong for the residents. Canada, Australians always top two.
因為其實我都相信好多香港人咧，其實適應力都好高啊。咁另外就係、其實澳洲啦，唔同即係國家啦，但係澳洲一路都係一個好即係 top 嘅城市，係好受香港人歡迎啊。無論係佢嘅天氣啦、環境啦、安全啦。同埋其實好多人都好中意去澳洲留學啦，好似伊文都係喺澳洲悉尼嗰度讀書。
係啊，咁其實咧即係啱啱蘇神亦都同我哋提到，即係其實澳洲主要有幾大，即係好多嘅吸引力啦。咁就啱啱就即係歸納咗幾個吸引力。咁其實相比起香港，其實首先嗰個生活節奏大家都即係好明顯知道係有快慢之分啦。咁同埋澳洲其實係一個非常之好環境嘅即係嗰個地方啦，氣候咁其實又即係凍又唔會太凍啦，又唔會話即係好似即係其他某幾個國家可能會落雪啦。咁熱就即係熱其實唔緊要嘅，因為熱可以開冷氣嘅。熱又唔係話特別好似非洲咁熱啦。咁其實即係個氣候好適中咯。咁其實同埋即係東南西北，其實即係講真，我任你揀，即係其實就算我可能我好中意亞熱帶地區，我可以去 Brisbane。咁但係如果我好想中意即係四季無你講可以喺 Sydney。係啦，咁或者可能如果我想中意多啲嘅即係唔同嘅自然環境啊嗰啲，其實可以去 Perth， 我之前都有 Perth 做過直播啦。咁當然啦，其實即係澳洲都係一個好即係好火熱嘅國家喺香港人嚟講，即係除咗加拿大啊、美國呢啲即係傳統嘅國家之外，咁尤其是如果喺澳洲嚟講，即係 Sydney 其實 Sydney、Melbourne 其實都係叮當碼頭啊，即係大家一諗澳洲，其實就會諗到 Sydney 啦。咁所以其實即係無論佢嗰個規劃啊，或者可能其實即係就好多香港人一直都有 keep 住去移民過去澳洲咯。咁其實我喺我自己嘅本身我都係即係澳洲籍啦。咁其實亦都亦都覺得其實嗰度嗰個環境啊、生活啊，其實即係當然就冇香港咁快啦。咁同埋其實即係好多其實即係身為一個公民，其實有個保障喺度，就係即係嗰個醫療保障啊，或者可能係一個公民啊，其實都做即係都係另一個感覺，同埋都會全面啲咯。係啊 ，OK。Yeah, going to
I will go very quickly about the case studies, so you can just run the PowerPoint. Okay, I have some few cases I want to share with you guys. So if you have a kid, if we're talking about age 35 to 40 families, if you have a kid, think about sending the kid to Australia. To have a student visa, and the parents, you can have a guardian visa. What you can do in Australia? For working out migrating to Australia later. When you have a guardian visa in Australia, you think about investment pathway. So during the stay of your students for your kids study, you can think about the investments like join a restaurant, or you buying a holiday resort, or any real estate projects. During your 2 years or 3 years in Australia studying, you have to guardian your kids, and for one of the parents who can do the investment with the spare money. After 3 years, your kids finish her study or his study, and you will be eligible for apply for permanent residence. Because you're holding a guardian visa, you have nothing to do. But I have a spare money. I want to invest a restaurant, like maybe $500,000 or maybe just 2 million Hong Kong, 2 million Hong Kong, or maybe 1 million Hong Kong. Doesn't really matter. Any percentage of the investment will welcome, because we have a restaurant group which holding more than 10 restaurants in different states of Australia. It doesn't matter which state you choose. And we also have plenty of real estate projects. for you to buy or to just join the project as a shareholder.
Yeah.
So when you stay here with your kids for studying, and you can think about investment pathway to get the permanent resident of the whole family afterwards. Okay, another case. So if you are just investor, you want to move to the next page.
Study.
Yeah, study, it doesn't matter. So also you can think about, I'm a skilled worker. I want to stay in Australia about the skill migration pathway. But at the same time, I need to settle down in Australia with my fair income. I believe all the overseas people, especially from Asian background, the first option for them for settlement is the property.
To make a home.
To make a home, to make a family. Yeah. So you think about when you settled with a property purchase or when you settled with an asset invest, you also have the chance to be eligible for permanent resident migration pathway in about 2 to 3 years. This is a win-win
situation.
Yeah, it's, you settle with your own family, your own home, as all Asian people prefer. And also, at the same time, the assets, the value of assets increase. You have a very good capital gain after a few years, and also you get a permanent resident income.
係啊，其實咧 Susan 都同我哋講過咧，即係對我哋再補充多少少啦。咁啊，其實咧究竟佢提出咗幾個例子啊，即係例如話究竟可能即係想再 visualize 多啲啦。就係其實如果我有個小朋友係啦，本身係即係攞住個即係 student visa， 咁其實我而家喺澳洲啦，咁其實咧其實父母其中一個家長其實可以咧申請一個叫做 guardian visa， 咁其實 guardian visa 咧就係一個監管啦，即係其實即係好似即係我要照顧我小朋友，咁我順便可唔可以去埋過去澳洲？咁其實當然啦，如果你亦都即係想即係你去到嗰度，咁當你去到嗰度嗰時，你就可以去諗究竟我之後條路去點啦。咁可能我就話咁我投資，咁其實我可能我有嚿積蓄啦，咁我個 savings 啦，咁其實究竟我究竟買又唔知買咩好啦，咁投資又唔知投資咩好啦。咁其實究竟我邊個 pathway 其實係快啲可以入到籍咧？咁其實啱啱 Susan 同我哋講咗就係，其實你即係。根據你本身你嘅條件啦，咁 Susan 應該會俾咗好多諮詢你啦，即係好多意見你啦。咁其實頭先你可以一係咧你就去買樓，一係咧你就去投資某一個生意啦。咁亦都可以投資一個 restaurant 啊，或者可以投資即係唔同嘅嘢。咁所以其實咧Platinum Group 咧其實亦都即係都會提供有好多唔同嘅投資項目可以即係俾大家去選擇咧。就係如果我而家以我而家咁嘅即係嗰個 savings 啊，或者可能我幾多資金啊，
我有係咯，根據你嘅 budget 或者你嘅意向去為你可能 tailor make 一啲唔同嘅 proposal 咁啦。係啦。咁希望其實大家都希望可以快啲可以幫到大家，即係其實即係以一個即係最有效啦，即係投資回報比較好啲啦。咁同埋其實亦都係一個都可以即係話到俾你聽，其實我可以點做咯，我嚟到。咁因為其實大家即係其實大家都覺得其實我想去移民，但係我唔知點去移民啊，因為即係其實究竟我應該點做咧？咁其實講真，你係問一個當地嘅人咧，其實係其實都比較可靠啲啦。因為其實本身因為即係 Susan 本身係喺 Sydney 啦，咁其實佢根本係會第一手時間知道究竟當地嗰個政策究竟係點更新法啦。咁同埋其實申請上面其實當有個人喺當地其實就比較係啦，幫你跟進啊嗰啲咯。咁其實都
always welcome you guys to follow with us and give us any emails or any inquiries. We're gonna customize your personal proposal combined with various investment options or customize your migration pathways. Doesn't matter what kind of background you have, just come to us. We'll definitely give you a wise proposal, and we're gonna follow you until we get a permanent resident or go any further. So now I'm gonna pass this to our President Director Gary to give you more information about what we have and what we do and what kind of nice investment options we have in Australia. To give you more ideas about we offers you guys, and you can come back to us for more details later on if you need.
Thank you, Susan, for the introductions. I just want to echo what Susan was saying earlier about Australia. This country was built on migration. We need, I came up from mum and dad came up from, Eastern Europe. I think even Will next door to me, his grandparents was from Hong Kong. Of course, Kevin. So this country was built on good migrants, or regardless, good or bad. They come to Australia and they become a good migrant. And that's what we are. We live in the best country in the world. We based in Los Angeles. Compare America to Australia, we are up there as far as quality of life experience, quality of weather, business opportunity, and guess what? Less COVID-19, that's we're getting nearly everyone, except the honkies a little bit now. So we're doing very well, especially in Australia, from everything, from education to count and everything. So as we all are migrants in this beautiful country of ours, I started with the restaurants, and we consist of about 11 restaurants between Sydney, and they all are iconic locations, right in Darling Harbour, which is the best harbour in the world. Only Hong Kong has a nice harbour as well. It's not as good as Darling Harbour. But, restaurants in Brisbane, Gold Coast, and that's how I started with my parents. And, we've been in this beautiful country, and we all are contributed to this beautiful country of ours. So that was the restaurant portfolio. And we're expanding the restaurant. At the moment, as we all know, we're going through the pandemic, and eventually things will see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is we are very close to reach it there. So with the vaccine, probably will be imminent for the next 2 to 3 months. Saying that, we've got another portfolio, which is a property portfolio, from normal residents to luxury residents to commercial to social housing to affordable housing. So basically, my portfolio, very diversified, consists of, basically it's a one-stop shop. If you want to invest in restaurants, we have restaurants. You want to invest in property, from commercial to top-end market to lower affordable housing, we have all that. So as Susie again was saying, we can tailor for each investment to its needs, to eligible, not just for PR, because there's no point having PR without having a good business. So we can get the PR and the business opportunity on the other hand. And also we specialize, we launching a few other products, which is anything out of Australia moving forward is going to be very popular. Australia brand is going to be the most popular things. We specialize in house keys as well, household keys and personal care. So we've got another businesses that we invest on. So, but I don't want to make you guys too confused about it. I'll just give you that was just the normal knowledge about what we do, from restaurants, properties, and restaurants as well, from top-end market to a lower-end market, properties from top-end to lower housing. So as I said, the spring, I know we got a small window, 45 minutes window from GY. They didn't let us talk more than 45 minutes. So that's the best things we can get out of it. And for more information, we've got to go through the Boys in Crowns. They'll be in touch with you moving forward to get more details about how you guys want to come to this beautiful country of Australia, which is it belongs at the moment to us. And we welcome a good migrants with good intentions to make this Australia even greater.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you, Gary. And let us have a recap and translate a bit the Cantonese to our Hong Kong audience. 啱啱其實 Gary 咧就其實同我哋即係再補充多啲，其實我哋講咗咁耐，其實移居啊、投資移民嗰個計劃啦，咁啊其實咧 Gary 其實都想同我哋再表達多啲，其實就係其實4位而家我哋今日嘅嘉賓咧，其實都係來自五湖四海嘅，即係例如話 Gary 咧就係東歐啦，咁其實 William 咧其實咧都係大家都係即係都係 migrants 嚟啦，咁啊當然啦 Susan 同 Kevin 都係啦，咁啊其實我哋都希望可以咧即係俾大家即係 個就係咧，其實點解佢哋大家都會聚埋一齊去成立，即係去合作呢個嘅 Platinum Group 咧？咁而大家都覺得其實澳洲係一個非常之好嘅國家啦，即係無論氣候啊、人民文化或者係投資啊，甚至係將來移居都係一個非常之好嘅好嘅地方啦。咁所以其實咧 Platinum Group 咧，其實就希望可以咧，即係帶到唔同嘅嘢，即係帶到唔同嘅投資計劃俾即係俾大家。咁希望咧就透過佢哋嘅項目咧，可以令到大家更加容易嚟即係移居到澳洲啦。咁其實 Platinum Group 咧，就頭先都講過，其實都係牽涉咗唔同嘅即係涉足唔同嘅行業啦，即係例如有 restaurants 啦。咁其實有residential 係啊，有 hospitality 啦、hotel 啦，咁亦都係有 residential properties 啦、commercial 啦。咁其實有好多嘅。咁其實大家其實就即係睇得即係可以睇翻自己嗰個即係嗰個預算同埋嗰個即係意向投資意向啦。咁其實亦都可以咧聯繫翻 Gary 啊、William 啊、Calvin 同 Susan。咁其實佢哋亦都會度身訂做咧，根據你嗰個意願，其實同你度身訂做一個嘅即係適合你嘅投資計劃。咁因為其實講真，即係大家都即係希望可以即係除咗我攞嚿錢買樓之外，其實都希望可以即係我喺以後嘅即係移居生活之後，都係一個比較有個即係一個正面嘅保障啦。咁其實所以即係點解我哋話其實你投資一個生意，即係有個 restaurant， 或者可能你投資一個 business， 或者可能你投資個 hotel， 其實呢啲嘢，其實呢個就係可以保障到之後。其實如果我喺當其時，即係可能我小朋友會做嘢，但我未必即係個歲數啱啱過咗啦，身為父母輩啦，如果係嘅話，咁未必做嘢。咁其實佢究竟可以點去計劃自己嘅將來，或者去幫小朋友？究竟因為當地讀書講真，即係平得嚟都要支出啦。咁其實究竟點可以即係計劃一個全面啲嘅一個咁嘅計劃？咁所以其實就可以去即係可以阿 Gary 同阿 William 就可以去幫到我哋咯。咁所以其實我哋嚟緊呢個介紹咧，其實我哋就即係希望介紹一個嘅計劃俾大家啦。其實項目咁其實今日咧都 Gary 同 William 都帶咗一個項目上嚟嘅。咁啊其實咧就係呢個即係項目嘅 Belrose 啦。咁其實Platinum Group 咧其實係唔止嘅。咁其實都提咗好多啦。咁其實 Belrose Village Square 其實其中佢哋一個嘅 project 啦。咁其實佢哋都有好多即係都會發展唔同嘅即係款類嘅項目，就係 luxury 啊，有其他嘅 residential 啊 commercial 其實有好多。咁今日我其實其中，但係因為時間即係直播時間有限啦，我哋帶其中一個。咁所以其實咧我哋都即係將個時間交翻俾阿 William 同阿 Gary 同我哋去介紹咯。Yeah, thank you, Gary and William. And I just recap to your audience that what you have mentioned, and you guys I know that you guys have so many projects, and but today you guys will bring one of the prime projects to our Hong Kong audience in the Belrose Village Square, and over to you. Yeah,
look, thank you very much. Given the time, I might just quickly go through this, and if you need any more detail, just reach out to us and ask for some more detail. If you want to go to the next page, Belrose is a mixed-use project on the North Shore of Sydney. It's located in the Northern Beaches. It's 51 residential units above a village square, which is about 4,400 square metres of retail space. You can see the image there. That's a photo montage of what it will look like once built. So if you want to move on to the next slide. Again, here's just a little bit more detail, which we'll skip through, but if you need to understand it, it's got all of the information about the address, the lot details, the current zoning, and then the different planning requirements around the site, which we have addressed in our application that you saw on the previous page. So Belrose. Belrose is located on the North Shore, as I said. The red dot in that picture is where it's located. If you want to go to the next page, it's 19 kilometres from Sydney CBD and 10 kilometres from Chatswood. I heard before there was a few mentions about Epping and a few of the other more prominent Chinese suburbs within Sydney. They're all very in close proximity to Belrose. Belrose is an emerging suburb on the North Shore where there's been a lot of money spent from state government to boost the infrastructure, the hospital, and also the roadway getting in and out of the area. It's a very leafy suburb. There's lots of trees, a lot of fresh air, a lot of space. This particular site is located very well close to amenity, which is existing shopping centres, great schools. Maybe if you go onto the next page, there's a bit of an aerial showing you where the location is. You can see in the background there's the city and the CBD and Chatswood. So if you go to the next page, starting to talk about the local infrastructure. So again, this is money spent by the state government. Whenever you look at property within Sydney, a good indicator of the way the performance of the suburb is going to go is based on how much money state government is spending to boost the amenity within the area. So two key pieces of infrastructure in Belrose is the Beaches Link, which is a new road connecting Belrose to the CBD, which will cut travel times substantially. There's also a huge employment generator, which is the Northern Beaches Hospital, which has been finished. So they're the two real key pieces of state government infrastructure. So if you move on to the next slide, again, in a little bit more detail, there's been $600 million spent on the local hospital. It's only 3 kilometres away from Belrose and is a huge employment generator for the local area.
Thank you, William. Like introduce the locations, and maybe I take this opportunity to recap some of your key points and in Cantonese and to our Hong Kong audience. 其實啱啱 William 咧就同我哋都有講過 Belrose 呢個咁嘅區，呢個區嘅。咁其實咧 Belrose 我相信頭先即係我啱啱開場都有講過嘅，其實大家可能未必太熟悉啦。咁因為其實大家可能比較即係熟悉可能其他嘅 suburb 啦，即係例如話可能係 Sydney 啊、Epping 啊、Chatswood 啊、Eastwood 啊、Strathfield 啊，其實呢啲比較多華人同埋亞洲人嘅聚集嘅地區啦。咁其實 Belrose 咧其實佢好近嘅，其實佢又唔係話真係好遠，其實佢咧就係離即係 CBD 咧都係一個離一個都唔係一個好遠距離，大概都20至30分鐘嘅車程。咁其實咧呢個咧其實都即係都係一個相對嚟講比較即係適合嘅即係可行嘅距離啦。咁其實佢呢個嘅區咧其實都有好多唔同嘅設施 amenity 嘅，其實佢有學校啦。咁其實咧，佢之後側邊亦都有相關嘅消閒設施，例如話戲院啊、shopping mall 啊、醫療啊，其實有好多咧，其實都係即係成為一個嘅 small community， 即係一個小嘅社區。咁其實佢亦都想打造成咧一個即係一個低密度 low density 嘅 community。咁其實呢一個區咧，其實點解想咁重點呢樣嘢咧？其實就係希望可以呢個咧係可以即政府都可以大力發展一個即係個 government infrastructure。咁所以其實咧，即係呢個都希望可以打造成為一個小社區啦。其實佢嗰個將來嗰個即係嗰個工作機會個 opportunity 都係幾大嘅，而且佢製造好多就業機會。咁其實亦都適合一啲或者係做嘢咧，其實大家都可以去考慮呢個區咯。咁其實啱啱我哋講開呢個 location 啦，譬如我哋啱啱
接住落嚟，其實係啦，咁佢另外澳洲嗰邊代表咧，其實都想 show 俾大家睇咧一個現場，即係新 set 嘅好靚嘅環境啊！咁我哋暫時將時間交俾阿 Kelvin 先。
我是 Kevin， 我想给大家介绍一下。嗨，大家好！我希望你们今天很开心参加我们今天这么居外网举行的这个讲座，给大家带来这么好的知识。同时的话，也欢迎我们 Gary 还有 William 给我们大家这么多的一些讯息，还包括 Susan 告诉我们大家这个 migration 的 pathway。同时今天的话呢，我们想在这里感谢我们居外网的主持人，这么辛苦给大家讲解我们今天这么丰富的知识，告诉我们香港的 resident 如何能够去来到澳大利亚这座美丽的城市。在这里的话呢，我们今天在Gary 的家里边可以看一看我们今天澳大利亚美丽的 sunset， 就是我们背后的这个景。你可以看到澳大利亚是一个环水的这个很美丽的一个城市，所以说呢，在这里你们以后来到澳大利亚以后，也可以欣赏得到这么美丽的美景在这里。我们可以做一下环形的看一下，在这里。
哇，好靚我都
你可以看得到我们这个是我们很著名的叫 Hunters Hill 这个地方。这个地方的话可以看得到所有的周边的这个环境和设施全都是非常全自然纯天然的。我相信香港人一定很喜欢，因为香港是一个岛国嘛，四面环的都是海，所以这边也是海里，这是一个港湾的一个港湾景。所以从这里的话你可以看得到四周全部都是很美丽的这个景色 view， 也可以看到 澳洲也是个非常安全的一个地方。你可以看得到，澳洲这边的话呢，每一个景它都是环绕着水去做的，所以说澳大利亚这个地方是一个很天然的适合人民居住的一个地方。所以说在这里的话呢，在我把这个镜头转给那个局外网之前的话呢，我想再次跟大家说一下，澳大利亚是欢迎香港人到我们这里来，然后今天通过这个知识讲座呢，我们也希望更多的香港的 residents 能够去通过我们的知識給你們的一些訊息，幫助到你們來到澳大利亞來。謝謝你們。
係，謝謝 Kevin。其實 Kevin 而家啱大家見到咁靚景色，我都唔需要多講啦。咁啊，其實就即係啱其實頭先嗰個位咧就係 Untitled 嘅。咁其實你都講即係佢話其實想 show 俾我睇，其實澳洲即係我今日嘅直播，其實都想話俾大家聽，其實而家澳洲即係最新嘅即係最新嘅情形啦。咁啊，同埋當然啦，喺直播見到咁靚嘅景啊，更加即係更加心曠神怡。
係啊，雀嘅叫聲都好清楚聽到。係
啦。咁我哋都唔好即係浪費我哋嘅大家嘅時間，我哋繼續我哋嗰個項目啦，係啦。Okay, over to you. Hi.
Thank you. If we move on to the next slide, that will start showing you where the local schools are. So some of the key local schools are St. Augustine School, which is number 1, which is down on the beaches. Number 2, so the red dot on that image is the site location. Number 2 is Davidson High School. Number 3 is Belrose Public School. These are all high quality local schools. And then you move 10 minutes away from the site, and you have some very well known private schools in Sydney, Knox Grammar, Ravenswood and Pymble Ladies College, which is numbers 4, 5 and 6 in that picture. Now, probably best to move on in terms of demographic. There are older couples in the Belrose demographic, but that's changing to become younger families, which is why the new apartments that are coming into the local area are what are changing the local demographic. Moving on to the actual development. So just a quick summary. If you move into the next slide, there's 51 apartments, as I said before. There's a courtyard below, which is connected to a lot of retail and landing. So you'd be living above a beautiful courtyard that connects from one street to another. The next page shows just a little bit more detail about the number of square meters in total of gross floor area. Then moving on, if you can to the next page, there's a little bit of a video. This is a 3D information of what it would look like to walk through the site.
咁其實啱啱咧，我趁呢個機會咧，就同大家再即係講 recap 啦。咁其實啱啱咧，阿 William 都同我哋講咗，其實呢個社區咧，其實周邊咧都有好多嘅消閒設施同埋大家需要嘅服務。咁其實大家即係可能買樓都好都好着重 school zone 啦。咁啊，其實佢周邊其實都有好多都有好多學校。咁其實如果真係大家有小朋友嘅話，其實亦都可以考慮呢個地方。咁其實就算佢哋嗰個車程咧，其實都唔會話好遠，即係揸車可能即係10零20分鐘就會到。咁所以其實啱啱而家我睇緊呢一個咧，就係一個片啦。其實大家睇下呢一個嘅 simulation， 就係呢個社區，其實想俾大家更加清楚知道，其實究竟佢哋嗰個 philosophy 想點，即係其實呢個項目係想點咯，即係點起啊？其實呢個亦都即係做得好靚啦。咁啊，大家真係一個好優靜嘅環境啦，一個低密度嘅住宅咯，係啦。咁所以咧，我哋其實即係啱啱即係都播咗呢個片俾大家，希望可以大家知道多少咯，其實係。Okay.
Thank you. And now this is a video of just what the site looks like now.
係啦，咁我哋亦都第二條片可以俾大家睇下嘅，係啦。咁 頭先就係個 simulation 啦，就係成個項目嘅片段啦。咁其實咧，即係而家呢一個咧就一個實景俾大家睇到。咁其實咧即係想帶咗個真實嘅環境俾大家睇，究竟其實呢一個嘅地方 Belrose 嘅地方其實係點樣？即係一個好綠化，係周圍亦都有國家公園啊，有好多嗰啲綠化地區咯。係一個
完全即係低密度嘅一個即係新開發項目啦，差唔多佔地咧係4385平方米嘅，咁都係即係比較遠離市區啦，咁所以就比較寧靜悠閒。
係啊，咁同埋頭先阿 William 都有提過，其實係有51套嘅住宅，其實咁大嘅地方其實只係得51個，咁其實真係一個好低密度嘅項目咯。
同埋佢哋都提供咗好多寬敞嘅公共開放空間啦，咁都會俾唔同嘅居民啦使用啦。
係啊。
咁同埋 Belrose 其實都即係擁有好大量嘅就業機會嘅一個城市嚟嘅。咁另外都有好多公立同埋私立嘅學校啦。咁附近都有好多著名嘅多個國家公園啦，同埋海灘咯。
係啊。
咁所以即係近年咧，佢嘅住宅需求咧都即係增加咗唔少嘅。
同埋我哋睇到而家呢個景咧，其實真係好，即係一個即係同香港完全一個好唔同嘅感覺啊！因為其實可能我哋住咧，其實冇咁多綠化嘅景觀啦，但係其實呢一個啱啱呢個項目，除咗有方面之外，其實亦都係有綠化嘅環境。咁希望可以即係俾大家一個唔同一個項目，希望可以帶俾大家唔同一個嘅感官咯，係啊。
So thank you. The next few slides are really just detail of the project. So apartment size ranges from about 55 square meters internally up to 120 square meters internally, from 1 bedroom up to 3 bedrooms. There are a few floor plans on the following slides, but as I said before, if you need more detail, reach out to us. I might actually hand over to Kevin now to summarize the process and what you need to do from here on.
Once again, thank you so much for GY to organize this amazing meeting for us to showcase the service that Town provides and also the planning company provides. So this is an amazing opportunity, really, once again, to open the windows for Hong Kong residents to see the amazing pathway opportunities come to Australia through immigration and also investment into this amazing country. And right now, I really do think the current policies to extend the visa from 2 to 3 years is a great reach for all of the Hong Kong residents to consider this opportunity. Once again, in today's meeting, we are just giving us a very brief introduction of the products that planning groups can offer and also the immigration service can offer to Hong Kong residents. So from this point onwards, we would like to guide all of the Hong Kong residents. Feel free to contact Susan and for us to provide you guys a more further service to tailor any of the towards your needs and to help you guys eventually and to come to Australia to one day to set up your home here. Thank you.
係，咁其實唔該 Kelvin 啦。其實咧，其實即係啱啱 Kelvin，其實佢都即係都再補充多少少，就係其實呢一個項目咧，其實就係即係帶俾即係可以其中一個投資項目帶俾大家啦。咁其實我哋都即係都想話，其實佢哋都係好非常之樂意去幫助，如果有希望可以去移居澳洲嘅香港人啊。咁其實我哋其實都頭先都睇過頭先嗰個項目啦，因為其實佢而家咧就係未起好嘅，咁所以其實咧或者我喺度再補充多少少資料俾大家啦。其實咧 Belrose 呢個嘅 location 頭先都講咗好多，其實一個新開發嘅地區一個社區啦，其實都政府大力支持去起啊。咁啊，其實見到咧啱啱喺正呢個，咁其實周邊都係有唔同嘅消閒設施啦，或者係即係你平時你日常生活所需都有，即係例如話可能我要去 Woolworth 啦，我要去 shopping mall 啦， 我要去睇戲啦，甚至我要可能我即係當然大家揸車定有油站啦。咁其實呢個都係一個好方便嘅嘢。其實周圍其實佢圍住佢頭先個地圖咧，其實就會都講咗其實有好多個學校。咁其實 for 一啲即係 family 其實即係 family size 嘅其實嚟移民都係一個非常之好咯。咁同埋因為而家啱啱哋都有講啦，係一個即係交通 infrastructure 同埋一個大力支持。咁其實一個係一個 potential suburb。咁其實咧喺將來嚟講咧，其實亦都係一個好會製造好多個就業機會啊！咁其實你都講開啦，就點解話就業機會咧？就係除咗本身周圍嘅嘢，可能商業啊，或者係即係住宅都會有個項目之外咧，其實佢呢個地區咧，其實去其他嘅地方咧，其實佢其他嘅例如 CBD 啊、CBD Sydney 啊或者 CBD Parramatta 啊，其實都唔係好遠嘅咋。
35到40分鐘車程就已經可以到啦。
係啊，咁其實如果其實啱啱好似啱啱喺你中間，但係你話其實我喺香港都住開咁繁忙嘅都市生活啦。其實我想移居嚟澳洲嘅話，其實我希望一個寧靜，但係寧靜得嚟又要方便得嚟又要方便翻工，咁咪點咧？但我又要綠化，我又健康，我又要平時就要 weekend 又要可能要享受啦。咁啱啱其實咧可能頭先地圖可能即係都比較即係我哋即係比較快喺度講啦。其實啱啱其實即係補充多少少就係呢個 Belrose 同埋呢個項目嘅後面咧，其實就有圍繞咗好多綠化嘅森林，其實係國家公園嚟嘅。咁其實咧，其實揸車非常之快去到。咁其實大家即係可能即係我哋香港人啦，都市比較繁忙，就好少話會去 weekend hiking 啊，或者可能係一啲即係情況嘅嘢。其實如果你住喺呢個區咧，其實就好在就係我除咗其他都方便之外，其實我揸車可能10零20分鐘就去其中一個好大嘅國家公園。咁其實即係叫 bush walk 啦。咁其實你都可以去咁做啊。咁所以其實即係都係一個
除咗郊野公園之外，有海灘啦，即係你落水又得，即係喺地行山又得。
係啊，咁其實有好多即係沙灘，即係沙灘都喺附近啦，即係例如 Many Beach 啊。freshwater beach 啊 ，shady beach 啊，咁其實呢啲咧其實都係非常之即係好方便嘅到達咯。其實大家即係有陣時覺得我可能我住 Sydney CBD， 其實都係即係商業區 CBD， 咁但係其實商業區 CBD 係好有好在，即係其實係好係方便。咁但係如果我好想有一個即係寧靜嘅即係 weekend 生活咧，其實咧呢個地區真係一個唔錯咯，又未去到好僻嘅，但係其實佢又係近 CBD 咯。其實大家都可以諗係。其實如果我過咗 Sydney Harbour Beach 啦，其實之後就係聖安娜，就係可能就喺 North Sydney， 但係其實佢只係 North Sydney 同聖安娜再上少少多咗10分鐘嘅車程。咁其實真係如果大家即係去到外地啦，其實揸車喺個距離嚟講真係非常之近。
同埋即係可能人在他方啦，咁突然之間想食中國嘢港餐嘅話，咁附近都有一個好出名即係華人社區啦，咁就係
Chatswood 啦，係啊，咁或者如果唔係就話去翻CBD 唐人街啦，咁其實大家都係四通八達咯，即係其實可能我需要只係可能揸個半個鐘頭車，我就可以出到去即係夜晚食個飯就翻去啦。咁當然而家就咩啦，係咯，咁所以其實即係其實大家都即係呢個首先呢個地區唔錯，同埋頭先都講過就係呢個4000幾平方米嘅地方，其實只係得呢個小社區有只係得51棟嘅 residential properties， 咁其實係一個好低密度咯。咁係啊，咁所以其實同埋即係我相信大家都可能喺度諗，其實如果我又即係想住 house， 但我又唔知點去管理，因為打理 house 可能因為連地啦，咁我要剷草啊，咁我又唔知點算。咁但係我又唔想住 apartment， 話 apartment 同我香港有乜分別咧？咁其實呢一個嘅項目咧，其實點解得咁少？係因為其實佢基本上咧就係一個 terrace 嘅設計，就係一個2層。咁其實但係係呢個 unit 嘅，係啦。咁所以其實大家就即係亦都可以兩邊都去試下咯，係啊，係啦。咁同埋啱啱我哋喺呢一個嘅即係直播期間咧，其實我哋都有個問題咯。其實我哋都可以即係交個問題交翻俾Kevin 或者 William 去幫我哋解答啦。Actually, hi, Kevin and William, and we got a question from our live audience. They would like to know more about the price list for reference because we just talk about the property price in Hong Kong is very high, but in compared to Australia property price is relatively low. It's a low and more competitive. So, William, would you like to share more the price list, the price of 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom price to our Hong Kong audience? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just open up the price list. Sorry, guys, you caught me off guard.
Yeah. I think that's just a random question from the audience, isn't it?
係。同埋其實 同埋其實佢都
係啦，觀眾朋友咧都有興趣想知道咧，究竟咁如果我哋有興趣投資嘅話，咁我哋係要喺香港做 mortgage 啊，定係其實去到澳洲都可以嘅咧？澳洲接唔接受海外人士嘅申請咧？
係啦。So another question is like can Hong Kong people like apply mortgage like when they interest to buy property in Australia? So how to settle the mortgage?
Do they need to apply in Australia or can they do it in Hong Kong instead?
Well, I think as what Gary is saying, it's a one-stop service. So the pathways are very simple. So for the Hong Kong residents come to Australia, in order for them to purchasing properties, whether it's investment or whether they are purchasing properties for the purposes of applying for permanent residency. Once again, we can take them as a one-stop. We can provide them one-stop service to from purchasing, settlements, mortgaging, repayments, etc., so on and so forth. So we can provide a list of information after today's meetings, and we will send you specific listed information to GY. So whether we can follow up to the client, that's not a problem. And you can see also there's a link which you can see on the screen. So you can contact directly to William, and William can send you a specific offering for the Belrose properties if you want to consider to purchase in the future. So we will give you a tailoring and specific settlement strategies, also immigration strategies. So feel free to contact us.
係啱啱其實咧唔 thank you Kevin。啱啱其實 Kevin 都有提到咧，其實 Platinum Group 咧其實係一個 one-stop shop 嘅集團啦。咁啊其實咧除咗移民啦、投資啦，咁其實其他當然啦，佢幫你做埋呢啲嘢，當然其實就會幫你諗埋究竟如何嘅資金嘅處理嗰個問題咯。咁所以其實咧，如果有乜需要，其實咧都可以去 contact 我哋即係Platinum Group 嘅代表啊 William 啦。咁其實我哋而家即係佢嘅聯絡資料咧，其實而家喺熒光幕上面啦，咁亦都喺我哋嘅 comment box 嗰度。咁如果有啲乜嘢，其實亦都可以去即係歡迎去聯絡佢哋，佢哋都非常之樂意同大家去分享下，究竟其實佢哋對即係移民澳洲嘅意見啦、投資計劃啦，或者可能其實係即係其他唔同嘅。即係唔同嘅個人嘅 tailor-made 嘅 package 啊，投資即係投資組合嗰啲咯。因為其實誒話啱啱頭先 Susan 都有提到，其實即係 Susan 可以幫到大家咧，就係移民，即係如何對去即係去審視自己嘅條件去做移民啦。其實佢可以快一啲個 pathway 啦。咁啊，至於 Calvin 其實亦都幫我哋都可以同我哋講下佢唔同嘅投資項目啦。咁至於 Gary 同阿 William 其實亦都可以即係幫我哋睇到好多嘅意見，就係其實Platinum Group 其實我牽涉咁多個行業咁多個 business 啦，咁其實究竟邊一樣嘢其實真係可以幫到你咧？咁所以其實呢個都所以我今日都即係好開心，即係都可以即係即係好多謝邀請到啊 Kevin 啦、Susan 啦，咁同埋仲有 Platinum Group 嘅代表Gary 同阿 William 同我哋分享下，即係分享咗呢一個其中一個項目。咁我相信其實佢哋亦都有好多項目，其實都好急不及待想同大家去介紹啊。咁所以其實如果有咩都可以歡迎即係去聯絡佢哋咯。We just told our Hong Kong audience that thank you everyone to be here in July live program, and for any like further inquiries regarding to the immigration, so we can either contact Susan or Kevin, or as the Hong Kong audience know that Platinum Group is a multi business group, including not only residential property but also the hotel, restaurant, commercial or luxury or other kind of like different projects and businesses. So if you Hong Kong people want to migrate or invest in Australia, so there's so many different projects that they can try and many options for them. So and I think they are more happy to tailor-made a personal or the most well-fit investment project for you guys. Yeah, and anyway, but once again, thank you, Gary and William.
Yeah， 同埋另外咧，啱啱收到咧，觀眾有一個 comment 就話咧，好想 好想即係知道更加多嗰個 investment pathway 啊，咁所以啱啱 Susan 亦都有提到啦，即係有唔同嘅途徑啦。咁佢就問到可唔可以 personal contact 你哋咧？完全係可以嘅，我哋亦都會將 Susan 啊、等等 Gary 啊、William 啊。或者 Kelvin 嘅聯絡資料啦、email 啦，俾到大家啦，擺咗喺 Facebook 嘅 comment box 啦，咁大家隨時去歡迎揾翻佢哋嘅 contact 咧，去了解更多資料啦。
同埋其實咧，我哋呢一個直播咧完咗之後咧，其實亦都有個 video playback 嘅。咁其實我哋其實大家如果想知，即係想再重溫啦，重溫啱啱其實佢哋講咁精彩嘅項目啦，你亦都可以睇翻我哋嗰個嘢。咁我當然啦，我哋亦都頭先阿 Vanessa 都有講，其實我哋會將即係啱啱4位嘉賓嘅聯絡資料都擺上，再擺上 comment box。咁希望大家可以趁呢個機會，咁啊就 copy 低，咁啊即係就可以聯絡佢哋咯。
係啊，因為其實直播時間好短啦，咁但係相信大家咧都對即係投資或者移民澳洲有好多即係唔同嘅諮詢啦，或者想了解更加多即係一啲可能申請嘅程序啊等等，咩先係最適合自己啊，咁所以係啦，所有嘉賓都好歡迎大家去聯絡佢哋，
係啊，
咁
咁所以同埋我完結之前亦都同佢做打一個小廣告啦。咁啊，其實咧，我哋其實嚟緊個直播咧，其實一直都會有嘅 GY 直播。咁所以其實大家就即係希望即係多多支持我哋嘅GY.Asia 嘅 Facebook page 啦 ，follow 我哋，咁同埋 like 我哋嘅 YouTube channel 啦。咁希望之後咧，大家可以帶到更多資訊俾大家。咁我哋就唔阻大家咁多時間啦。咁啊，拜拜 ，thank you，thank you。